year and a half ago that I was ready to do something, you know, kind of commit to something, because it's there is a bit of commitment with the role. So they have 2 intakes a year. So it was a February intake they had that time. So I registered via the link that they have on the volunteer website, our volunteer website. And from there, then you go to the open evening. Now, I don't have any dates for you this time about, I think it is October, but I don't know the dates. But, you know, if you apply, all of that information will come through. So then there's no, you know, there's no commitment or pressure at the open evening. They just tell you what exactly what it's like and what to expect. And if you're interested, then you go on and you do an interview with them. And basically that's just a chat. And I actually can't really remember it, but I'm pretty sure it was about, you know, just why I wanted to become a Samaritan and what did I know about the Samaritans, and maybe if I had any, and I think I pretty much told them if I had any experience with mental health issues myself, you know, or at any time I felt lonely or, you know, those kinds of things. So once you're accepted, then you get a training schedule, and it's covered over 6 months. So you're not training consistently for 6 months, but you're like a provisional. Is that the word? What's the word? Not provision. Well, you're like what's the word, Rena?
Probation.
Yes, that's it. You're on probation for like 6 months, and you have a mentor. So you're in, you know, you're not thrown in at the deep end after the training, and the training is very comprehensive. And it equips you for most scenarios. So, you know, they cover, you know, the really difficult calls that you might get, and they role play it out so that you get a chance to react as if you were having the call. And then your mentor is with you for X amount of calls at the beginning. And you don't have to take a call until you're ready. So that's really important. You know, there's no pressure. It's all taken very serious. You know, when you're ready, then that's fine. There's no pressure for you to jump on the phone and just start the process, you know. So basically, they would like you to do 1 shift a week, and that's 3 hours. So and you're in pairs, so you're never on your own. You always have your partner there with you to talk, you know, to have a chat about a difficult call afterwards, or you can have a cup of tea together. You know, you mightn't have met them before, but that's, you know, you're never on your own. And if your partner doesn't show up, the shift doesn't go ahead. So that's where, you know, you need to commit. Or if you can't make it, of course there are times when you can't make it, or you've forgotten that you were on, or whatever, you just ring, or you know, there's always somebody to contact, and you're never on your own, that kind of way. So the kinds of issues you probably are aware of that you hear about a lot are, you know, suicidal calls, and that is a, you know, a really important issue, and it's covered in the training. And loneliness, you know, is a huge issue. You might have heard that on the television interview as well. So they're the kind of main things that you're dealing with. And the most important thing for me to say that it is a listening service, and that can be very difficult at the beginning, because I don't know if you're like me. I didn't realize how much I wanted to give advice. You know, I wanted to fix everything. But you really have to hold back on that. But again, it's something you learn. It's actually a skill that you learn. So not to butt in, you know, and not to say, well, now, do you know what I think? And my friend did the same thing. You know, there's none of that. It's very much, you know, you give them the space to talk, because really that's all they're looking for from you. You know, they really need you to listen and just, you know, be there for them. And that's what the service is, and that's why they're ringing you. It's a very meaningful role, as you can imagine. You know, as I said, there is a commitment. It's a 2-year commitment, and you wouldn't believe how quickly that flies. Like, I'm already there a year and a half, and I can't believe it, you know. Yeah, so they expect you to do a 3-hour shift per week, 1 late night shift a month, and that might be 12 a.m. to 3 a.m. And there is 2 overnights a year, so that's a 12 a.m. shift to a 6 a.m. shift if you can. And all of this is flexible. That's the ideal scenario, but that is the way the kind of, that's the way it kind of is set up. So there's about 114 volunteers in Sligo at the moment, and we're 24/7. And the team is unbelievable. They're the nicest people you could meet. And it's so funny when I say that to people, they're like, of course they are. They're Samaritans, they're the nicest people. But they really are like the nicest people you'll meet. And there's so much support. There is a it's not a hierarchy, but you go to the day leader who goes to someone else, who goes to someone else. There's always so much support there. There's a volunteer care person that you can call at any time. And everyone is really kind and really ready to help. And in normal times, there's actually a very social side to Samaritans. We have trips out, we have dinners. Of course, that's not happening at the moment. And the schedule has been really funny over the last couple of months, because of people cocooning, volunteers cocooning, and we haven't been open X amount of hours. We've been covering it through all the centres in the country, but it's back to normal now, I'm delighted to say, and that's why we're looking for volunteers now. So there will be an open evening coming up, and is there an open evening, Rena, or is it going straight to interviews?
I think this year they're going straight to interviews. Because
yeah, sorry, I better not say any more about that, because I'm not sure how, I could say the wrong thing. But they will have another intake, and the more people obviously that they get, I guess they'll put on extra training and extra intakes of people, hopefully. Or you just wait until the next one, which could be February, if you're going by their typical schedule. But it's completely confidential. You're not going to go home and you're not going to say, wait till I tell you what I heard. It's totally confidential. Everything that you hear in there, it's completely private. And that's the whole premise of the Samaritans, that people can trust you. They call you. It's confidential. You don't judge them. You're just there to listen. And that's what makes them feel better, hopefully, at the end of the shift. And if you're upset by anything you've heard, or if you feel like, oh, I didn't give my best on that call, absolutely, you speak to your day leader, you speak to the volunteer care person, you speak to your partner, and they will assure you that you've done your very best just by picking up the phone and listening. You don't know how much you've done for those people. So it's a lovely role. I've made lovely friends out of it, and I would recommend it to anybody that has the time. So if you have the time, that's a lovely thing to do.